Welcome to Damaging Ignorance. Damaging ignorance is important because whoever controls your language of discourse controls your reality. Every story has two sides to it. On this show, we challenge the dominant discourse of the week. We challenge the dominant discourse not because our side is right, but because the other side is wrong. We offer you the actual position of things, and we are rarely wrong. And even when we are wrong, it is because we do not choose to be right. The first principality of ignorance we have to damage is about the coronavirus. In our view, things are not as bad as they seem. Or are they? Here are some statistics about the fatalities of coronavirus compared to other major viruses historically. And by fatalities, we mean the comparison between the number of cases and the number of deaths. Ebola has had a fatality rate of 40%. SARS in 2002 had a fatality rate of 10%. Hini, also known as H1N1, affected almost 1 billion people in 214 countries and territories, and a fatality rate of 0.02%. And now, coronavirus, a fatality rate of 2.5%.
Yes.
Which is likely to stay there. But
things are not as bad as they seem.
Hi, Prof.
Hi. Why do you look violent? You look like the fellows on Twitter today.
You see, allow me to disagree. You see,
You're not disagreeing with me.
No, with
his submission.
Yes. You see, if the American stock market can lose over $1 trillion in one day because of this corona thing, if the Chicago of China shuts down completely, and those people who service car parts for Hyundai and Kia are told not to go to work because they'll give other people corona. Why are we saying things are not as bad as they seem? Literally, if you're going to lose over $1 trillion in your stock market, that is reminiscent of 2008 global financial crisis. So I am not really getting, the proportions of this are huge. You know, I am not really getting why they're not. Maybe for us they're not, because we haven't seen anybody having it. But maybe I'm wrong.
Today I need to ask you two questions.
Yes.
What is the stock exchange market in your mother tongue? It does not exist.
It doesn't.
That is number one. Number two, a point you made that is very important. That the manufacturing companies in China,
in
Wuhan, have closed down for 2 weeks. That's why they've lost the trillions of dollars that they have lost. Is it possible that this virus was manufactured by choice architects, specifically to create a background of acceptance for certain AI experiments they want to do, artificial intelligence experiments they want to do? Is it possible that it was created so that the Chinese people say, hey, fellows, these humans are getting caught by coronavirus, all manner of viruses, and because of that, we need to do away with humans and introduce robots. Plausible. So is it possible that all of this is artificially engineered for purposes of creating a new industrial revolution that is engineered by technology, but then given a justification using the virus? That is one. Why I asked you about your mother tongue is because I have not seen any African or heard of any African who's been hit by this virus. Even in Egypt, Algeria and Nigeria, it is Muzungus who have been hit by it. And I keep telling you guys, and I'm basically using what my grandfather used to tell me. One day, someday, the people who are not us are going to be hit by something that will destroy them, but it will not touch us.
It will leave us.
It will leave us. It will not touch us. So is it possible that maybe the gods from my grandfather have visited these fellows and they are taking them out one by one?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
But also in the case of Kenya here, I know this week the president has been hit real hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
By people who masquerade as social media experts.
They call keyboard warriors.
Keyboard warriors. Eh?
Yeah.
Because of what happened with the landing of that aircraft from China. In my view regarding that, actually 2 points. One, I think the president has been let down by his cabinet.
I agree.
So when you hit out at him directly, you basically are saying, man, this guy is CEO of a country that is a 3 trillion shilling enterprise. And is it possible for him to have known that a plane was landing? Maybe. Yes. You never know. But there was supposed to be somebody who was to stand guard and to ensure that when he learns, there is no virus that has come into the country. And then number 2, that if there is virus has come into the country, those guys are not self-quarantined.
But they are quarantined by force.
By force. But somebody somewhere dropped the ball. And in my view, if we keep blaming Uhuru Kenyatta for everything that's going wrong in this country, we basically are missing the point. But the second point on that, I want to say that on that particular point, the people to blame are the cabinet secretaries. And I have a submission on that, I think some of them are clinically incompetent.
Wow.
Yeah, clinical incompetence is worse than sickness, you know. And it should be replaced if indeed this happened without a good reason. But the second thing is, a judge gave an order. And the judge, what's his name? James? Macau. He says, this guy, he's a nondescript person in the political realm or in the realm of power. You don't even know him. I heard about him for the first time. If I bumped into him tomorrow in church, I will not even know. It is Macau who said. But this guy basically said, from now on, no planes from China shall land in Kenya. Now, when you have nondescript people, of course, they have certain legislative powers and constitutional powers as well. Issuing statements, not statements, but issuing orders of this kind that must be obeyed. It's because somebody somewhere
Has not done their job
and has abdicated their power. So the thing is that so long as executive power is not rolled out with the kind of force, the kind of tenacity, the kind of meticulousness that is supposed to be rolled out with, the judiciary will take over. And this is the crisis we had in 2017, where all decisions that the executive could not make were being made by
the judiciary.
Power was a vacuum.
In my view, this is disastrous. But again, as I'm saying, Uhuru Kenyatta alone cannot handle this. There are people who have been appointed to handle these matters, and they're not giving him good counsel, and they're not taking the proper actions. And these fellows who are exhibiting clinical incompetence need to be brought to book. And these are the people we should be addressing.
Whoa.
So, on to our second principality of ignorance. The second principality of ignorance we have to damage is that BBI is not adding up. Someone somewhere is being set up. Who is it?
And just to add on something that, because
Kevin is on fire.
You stopped something. You remember last time we did this, we spoke about Zimbabwe. Now,
Yes.
a former cabinet minister of Zimbabwe today has said that the military generals of Zimbabwe have given an ultimatum to Mnangagwa to step down, or else they come for him. See, this is the case of the kingmakers, because they made him boss.
Yeah.
Right now, they want their seat back. Now, is it possible, Prof, that Uhuru Kenyatta foresaw a situation where the kingmaker, yes, would at some point ask him to vacate the seat, and therefore he decided to cut him to size before he decides to tell him vacate seat?
You know, in the last episode we said that the owners of the Zimbabwe coup will come for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when they come for it, Mnangagwa will have to submit the coup to them.
Yes.
And this former minister, who is a part of G40 in Zimbabwe, is saying that the owners of the coup have come and they have told Mnangagwa, give us back our coup. This is a gentleman by the name of General Dr. Chiwenga.
Yes.
Constantino Chiwenga. And maybe that will happen.
Yes.
You see, the lesson that Chiwenga, the lesson that Mnangagwa did not learn, and one that Uhuru Kenyatta seemed to have really absorbed, is Machiavelli 101. When you get to power, a prince must always get rid of all the kingmakers and all the kings in waiting.
Yes.
Now, Mnangagwa got into power, the kingmakers are right there underneath him, supported by the Chinese. He is a Russian guy, and all the kings in waiting are around him. He never destroyed them. But Uhuru Kenyatta seemed to have said, look, I need to destroy, or if not destroy, disorganize.
Yes, that's true.
The kingmakers and the kings in waiting. Kingmaker here was William Ruto.
Correct.
Disorganize him. That kingmaker was the other king in waiting was
Raila
Odinga. Absorb him, but also maybe disorganize him in the absorption. You see, BBI to me does not add up. Why it does not add up is because why is it that Raila Odinga, with a stronghold in Kisumu, has not gone to Kisumu to sell it?
To sell BBI.
Because he could have gone there. Instead, he decided to go to Kisii. And then in Kisii, he summoned all of Nyanza. That did not make sense to me. And then Uhuru Kenyatta is, we should have gone to Kiambu people. Bring the Kiambu fellows with all their Mungiki things. We sell BBI there to these Kiambu guys, and the country will be electrified. This is 1 million people.
1.2.
No, right now it's gone to 1.2 years. Or go to a place where, but instead of going to Kiambu, where they should have gone to, they decided to pick a corner like this and go to
Mira County,
Meru. Meru and and Kisii are similar. It looks like they're dodging something. If indeed this particular thing has the support of the people from below, we should have gone to the areas that count. And that's why, as you're saying, is it possible that maybe you never know?
Someone is being set up.
Someone is being set up.
Do you think it's Raila?
Let me ask you this. Was Mudavadi set up at some point?
Yes, he was.
By who?
By Uhuru.
And then what happened?
He said they ate all his mandazis and he was left in the cold.
Was Ruto set up?
Yes, he was
set up. We're just using historical patterns.
That's right.
So, is it possible for us to hypothesize that maybe Raila, if indeed Uhuru could turn away from Ruto the way he did, he can turn away from
Raila
as well.
Absolutely.
No, we're not saying it is possible, we're saying it is probable.
It's probable.
And is it also probable that Raila and Ruto can team up and turn against Uhuru Kenyatta? That's also probable.
Very.
And the important date to give us a signal on how this will play out. And Kenyans need to mark this date. The date is June 28th.
2020.
2020.
Oh.
What's the significance of that date?
I am not a lawyer, but from what I've read, is
You cannot begin by saying you're not a lawyer if you're not one.
I'm a political economist.
Okay, you're a political economist. So
I'm a political
and
economist.
you're interpreting this from a political economist
Point of view.
point of view, yes.
I'm also
The lawyers are interpreting it from lawyers.
I'm also
Point of view.
I'm dog whistling so that in case I say something wrong, he can correct me.
But you know the origins of law is political
Political
science.
Political science.
Yes.
Yes.
And lawyers, and my friend Harvey,
Yes.
Nelson Harvey, and I want to congratulate him
Yes.
for becoming a Sky boss.
Yes.
The guy who was there before, I can't remember his name. Was there someone before him?
There was
It's called Alan Geshohi.
yeah.
Kikuyus should stop running for things that don't concern them. Law things, forget about them. They should stick to commercial law
Yes.
stuff
Yes.
and things that bring Kenya shilling.
Absolutely.
But doing
So
So
there's a provision in the constitution.
yes, that says that if the deputy president takes over power 2 years before
2.5 years.
2.5 years before
Yes.
an election,
Yes.
then he will not be deemed to have done a full term.
Precisely.
Now, this date that Prof
Yeah,
mentioned is
yeah.
June 28th.
And so therefore he will be eligible for another 2 terms. He can do 12.5 years.
Yes, if he takes over
If he
after
takes over
June
thereafter.
28th.
Yes.
Now, can I ask a conspiratory question? You see, Raila Odinga has told us that a referendum will happen in June this year. Is it possible that he's played this thing forward and he knows the date which William Ruto can ascend to power without having done a full term?
Yes.
Or without,
Yeah.
and therefore
Yeah.
he just said, now
By June.
we'll have to have,
We
a,
have to have a referendum.
because he's saying, I can see what you are seeing.
But you asked a question last time, and we told you it was a question without legs. You said, is William Ruto going to take all of this stuff lying down?
Yes.
And in my view, and as I've been reading the science, I don't think William Ruto is that stupid. That you go to him and tell him we are coming for you, skinning you alive bit by bit. Yes. Including the way Sonko was skinned. You saw how he looked like a lamb.
Yes.
Being taken to slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Maybe he was playing.
Yes.
All of these things don't add up.
Yeah.
In my view, I don't think William Ruto will take it lying down. And it is also possible that Uhuru Kenyatta, and this is not possible, probable, given the history, Uhuru Kenyatta is setting up Raila Odinga. I mean, all of that must be put on the table, for purposes of BBI conversation.
Which now takes us to our third principality of ignorance.
Yes.
The third principality of ignorance we have to damage is about the referendum, the BBI referendum.
Yeah.
There will be no BBI referendum. The GEMA nation, as is currently, is in a state of delusion. To go into a referendum will be suicidal. Or what do you have to say?
Constitution making is about two things. One is about process, and two is about the act of doing it.
Yeah.
So process is the making of covenants between nations.
Yes.
The act is now codifying the covenant.
Yes.
Into
a body, into law.
Into a body of laws.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have noticed what has happened, I don't know whether it's by design or it is organic.
Yeah.
We have moved from one community to the next.
Yeah.
Get the consensus from the Ma community, consensus from the Nyanza people.
Yes.
Also known as Kavirondo in the original days.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Now we are going to make consensus amongst the mountain people.
Yes.
And I am hoping that we'll distinguish between the mountain Kikuyus and the
Valley
Kikuyus.
Yeah.
And as we are making consensus from one space to the next, we are engaging in process.
Correct.
And in my view, and I think I did a tweet on this where I argued that my friend Olekina should not have been captured by another clinically incompetent institution known as NCIC. That thing should be banned. Actually, we should shut it up because it is a total waste of taxpayers' money. It is a house of retired politicians and bishops who should be preaching instead of sitting in judgment.
Yes.
They arrested him and they tried to judge him.
Yeah.
And my thinking is that the NCIC Act, including that particular institution, should actually be suspended to allow us to do an honest conversation regarding this constitution.
Yes.
There's no way we can have a conversation regarding a marriage of 45 tribes.
Yes.
And we don't abuse each other somewhere in between.
Or raise uncomfortable
discussions. You have to describe the legs of Kikuyus.
Yes.
Yeah. They are thin.
And the ears of Masais.
The ears of Masais, they have fallen.
Yeah.
And discuss many other things, And if you cannot do that, you cannot have a covenant that is lasting.
Right.
So in my view, we are in a process of recreating or renegotiating our nationalist covenant.
Yes.
And we have to do it in openness.
Yes.
And that's why things like hate speech must be suspended. But once we are done with the process, we must now go into the act.
Okay.
The act of constitution making.
Yeah.
And the act of constitution making is where we will decide whether we'll do a referendum.
Yes.
Or not. But in my view, I will not go for a referendum. It might spring surprises that you're not prepared for. And if I was William Ruto, and William Ruto needs to be advised. The problem with William Ruto, in my view, is that he is listening to a bunch of lawyers. He has no political scientists in his space. BBI, William Ruto, works for you. BBI has said we'll have a president like the one we have now.
Yes.
We'll have a deputy like the one you occupy. A prime minister and 2 deputies.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
You should go with it.
Yes.
And why I'm saying this is because if he does not embrace that position, and nobody has embraced that position yet, what will happen after we've collected the views of everybody? A new BBI report will be brought in. Then we'll say that the one we had given to you of a president, like the one William Ruto wants, that one has now been rejected by the people. So now we brought in a ceremonial president and an executive prime minister. Now, when that point comes in and he opposes it, we will say that this man is opposing everything. It becomes a problem. Are you getting my point?
I see
there?
it. Absolutely.
So in my view, he should embrace the current position and not oppose everything. And if he embraces it and says this is a good thing, and says I'm going to do these rallies with Raila Odinga, then Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, 2 people I support right now, will have difficulties changing that position.
Absolutely.
To say that now we have abandoned that one of BBI one, now we want an executive prime minister. It will be completely impossible. And that is the direction, in my view, that William Ruto should take. And if he takes our position, then we don't need a referendum. This can be done in one afternoon within Parliament, and it is passed.
Fantastic.
Dear viewers, there you have it. It is our hope that we have damaged some ignorance. We also hope that we have exposed the owners of the Ignorance Project. Remember, things are not as bad as they seem.